In this video here, I'm gonna be telling you guys, I know you guys are thinking probably like, Jack, how the fuck did you lose 600K in 6 months? And I'm gonna be answering that question in this video here. So, before I start, I do wanna say that I fully recovered from this and then some. So I fully recovered by a lot at this point, but this happened 2 years ago. Okay, so 2 years ago. And so I'm gonna tell you the full story. So I was living in Prague with my ex-girlfriend, and it's funny because she didn't even realize what was happening at that time, but so I'm gonna make it as short and sweet as possible here. So I was shooting for the 1Ks. For those of you who play poker, you guys know what I'm talking about. I was battling for the 1Ks, and so my EV was at 0 after about like, I wanna say 15,000 games, which is really, really good when you're reg battling. It was about at 0, and I ran $200,000 under EV. So that's just pure unluckiness on that front. So I got really unlucky with that, but the rest of the 400K was basically me just making very like foolish kind of decisions in the stock market. So obviously some of you guys know Jason, my best friend right now and business partner. And at that time he was telling me like, like there's a few stocks, you should invest in these few stocks. And for me, like being kind of just not giving a fuck, basically, I took his advice, but I started investing a lot of money in these individual stocks that I knew absolutely nothing about. Whereas he was just giving me some advice as to what he was investing in and what he thought was a good investment, which is great. I really appreciate that. But then I made the huge mistake of kind of taking that out of proportion and just fucking piling money into these stocks that I had absolutely no idea basically what I was doing. And since then I've kind of been reading a lot of investment books and realized that investing in index funds is going to be the best strategy for me moving forward. So for me, that was definitely a big learning experience. So I invested into, I think it was like 5 or 6 or 7 individual stocks where I put in like over 100K in all of them. One of them I put in like 250 or something crazy like that. So I was getting kind of carried away with investing in these things just based on like what Jason was just kind of like, oh, these stocks seem pretty good to me. Like, I don't know, like you probably shouldn't invest all your money into them. But so I invested a lot of my money into these individual stocks, not all of it obviously, but I invested a lot of it. And so at first they were doing really well. So I was like, wow, this is fucking awesome. So the stocks went up quite a bit for the first year or two that I was invested into them. I started like 4 or 5 years ago, let's say. And then like 2 years ago while I was living in Prague, all of a sudden like these stocks just all started to just absolutely tumble. And one of them actually went bankrupt. It went to 0 basically. So that one stock I had probably like 120 or 130K and it just went to absolute 0. Just straight to 0 town. And another one that I had like 250 in, it lost like 60 or 70% of its value. So I went down to 100 with that one. And a couple others took a hit. Like all of them took a hit all at once. It was crazy. And it happened the same exact time as I was going through the downswing with battling 1K. So it ended up being a 600K downswing for me that at that time I didn't actually feel it that much, which is quite surprising. You would think like, Jack, you lost 600K, you might fucking want to jump off a building or something, but no, I actually felt totally fine with it. I'm not sure what exactly it was that made me feel fine about it. maybe it was like me living in Prague, like living a new experience. There was so much adventure that I wasn't really even like that concerned about it. I was, going to the gym a lot. I was reading a lot of books and stuff. So I was kind of keeping my mind busy. And then I realized that some of it was like obviously really stupid decisions on my end. But some of it was also just like I couldn't really control it. Like running that much below EV is something I had absolutely no control over, and I had to just kind of accept that. And the stock market decisions, I kind of had to accept that as well, where I had to kind of like face the facts that I made some stupid decisions and I made some mistakes, but I took that as a learning experience. I started learning a lot more about stock market and investing and things like that. So as you guys can see in the how to invest video, like I have a totally different investing philosophy today than I did in the past, where I made a lot of big mistakes. So I'm telling you guys this story for two reasons. One is because I know you guys are gonna find it super entertaining. I know people love to click on a video like this, how I lost 600K in 6 months. It's just an interesting kind of video to click on and to watch and to understand. And secondly, for you guys to avoid the same mistakes that I made. Don't go blindly investing in shit that you have no idea about. Regardless, just like do your own kind of research, study the things that you want to invest your money in. Don't just go kind of like just splashing your money everywhere and just like, okay, I'm just going to put my money in this, like who cares what happens kind of thing. That was kind of like my attitude. I was very gambly. I was just like, fuck it, like let's just go for it, and especially it like kind of working out for the first couple of years, like gave me more kind of false validation in that I was making the right decisions when I was really making impulsive decisions. So especially with investing in your money, don't make any impulse decisions where you're kind of like, where you're just kind of like thinking to yourself, like, oh, I'm just gonna fucking go for it. Let's do it. That's not the way you want to make decisions when it comes to investing your money. You want to make logical decisions, use logic, less emotions. For me, it was like a lot of emotions, impulse, where I was just like, fuck it, like let's just blast and see what happens kind of thing. So I hope you guys learned something from this or took something away, or at the very least were entertained by it in some way, shape, or form. Let me know if you guys liked the video. Drop a comment, drop a like. And if you're not subscribed, then definitely go and subscribe. And I have a lot more interesting videos coming up soon. I might do like a tour of my penthouse here in Toronto, which would be quite interesting. I think a lot of people want to see that too. People have been asking me to kind of just do a little tour of the apartment here. And yeah, so let me know what you guys think. And I'm still answering every single comment. So if you guys have any comments or anything to say, then I'm happy to answer it. Like I said, when the channel grows to a certain point, I might not be able to answer everybody's comments and stuff like that. But at this point I am. So if you want to reach out to me, then drop a comment and I'm happy to just talk about anything at all. And take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.